Shall I start? Yes, okay. Anyway, basics of the coordinate systems. Please wait. Okay. So in the last few classes, நம்ம வந்து என்ன பார்த்தோம், basics of coordinate system. அதுலயும் particular வந்து spherical coordinate system and cylindrical coordinate system பார்த்தோம். அதுல எப்படிலாம் ஃபார்ம் பண்றது, டிஃபரெண்ட் சர்ஃபேஸ் எப்படி ஃபார்ம் ஆகுது, அகைன் இன்டர்செக்ஷன் ஆஃப் சர்ஃபேஸ் எப்படி லைன் ஆகுறது, இன்டர்செக்ஷன் ஆஃப் லைன் வித் another surface எப்படி பாயிண்ட் கிடைக்குது அது பார்த்தோம். அகைன் வாட் இஸ் த யூனிட் வெக்டார்ஸ், what is the unit vectors, again what is the relation between that unit vectors and the unit vectors that is available in rectangular coordinate system இது பார்த்தோம். அது இல்லாம what is the relation, parameter relation, okay, what is the parametric relation between spherical coordinate system and Cartesian, and similarly between cylindrical and Cartesian. So இதெல்லாம் பார்த்தோம். Okay, now we are going to start a subject, EMF, electromagnetic field, electromagnetic theory, electromagnetic field or electromagnetic theory. Generally this subject can be divided into three parts in general. One is discussing about only electric field, okay, discussing about only electric field, and discussing about only magnetic field, and discussing about both electric and magnetic field, that is called EM waves. EM waves, see what is EM waves? It consists of both electric and magnetic field. EM waves always consist of electric and magnetic field. So in case of EM waves, without electric field there cannot be a magnetic field, without a magnetic field there cannot be an electric field. Okay, but in these two cases they can exist separately, electric field separately and magnetic field separately. And again please recall your earth is having north and south pole. Earth itself will act as a magnet. Our earth itself is giving some kind of magnetic field, that is NS magnet. With the help of earth magnet only, our magnetic compass, the compass that is used to identify the direction. Example question கேட்பாங்க sir, which one is used to identify the direction? Magnetic compass. Okay, அதெல்லாம் வந்து எப்படி ஒர்க் ஆகுது, நார்த் சவுத் போல் எர்த்தோடைய மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டில் ஒர்க் ஆகுது. அகைன் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், ஈவன் சம்டைம் சம் ஸ்மால் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட் கூட பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. ஓகே, சில்ட்ரன்ஸ் இவங்களாம் வச்சுருப்பாங்க ஸ்மால் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட். அதில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஏரோ மாதிரி இருக்கும். அது பர்டிகுலராக வந்து நீங்கள் எங்கே அதை வச்சாலும், எங்கே எடுத்து வச்சாலும் அது என்ன பண்ணும், கரெக்டாக அந்த நேரத்தில் எது நார்த் எது சவுத்துன்றதை அது கரெக்டாக வந்து ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணும். ஈவன் சம்டைம் லக்கேஜ் பேக்கேஜஸ்லாம் கூட பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. அதுலேயுமே நார்த் சவுத் உங்களுக்கு கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. ஓகே, சப்போஸ் நீங்கள் எங்கேயோ ட்ராவல் பண்ணுறீங்க, அகைன் ஒன்ஸ் உங்களுடைய ஓன் ஏரியாவில் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் விச் இஸ் நார்த் விச் இஸ் சவுத். பட் நீங்கள் ஒரு நியூ ஏரியா அதுக்கெல்லாம் போகும்போது நார்த் சவுத் எதுன்னு தெரியாது. ஸோ அதை ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணுறதுக்கு உங்களுக்கு அந்த பர்டிகுலர் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட் வந்து ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. ஸோ அகைன் ஒன்ஸ் இஃப் யூ நோ விச் ஒன் இஸ் நார்த் விச் ஒன் இஸ் சவுத், அகைன் யூ கேன் ஈஸிலி ஐடென்டிஃபை வாட் இஸ் த ரெஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த திங்ஸ், ஈஸ்ட் அண்ட் வெஸ்ட். ஓகே, again to identify the direction, at least you should know only one direction. If you know one direction, you can identify the another directions. Okay, now again they will also discuss separately electric field separately. Again the concept of lightning and thunder, everything is based on that electric field concept. Okay, how the lightning and thunder is happening, or why it is making a lot of problems to us, that lightning and thunder, the reason is behind that is electric field concept. ஸோ இது எல்லாமே வந்து நீங்கள் தனித்தனியாக மேபி எலக்ட்ரானிக்ஸில் எங்கெங்கயோ படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. எலக்ட்ரிக் ஃபீல்டு அதிகமாக படிச்சிருப்பீங்க, மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட் சம்டைம் படிச்சிருப்பீங்க, அகைன் எலக்ட்ரோ மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட் இதெல்லாம் வந்து படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. நவ் நெக்ஸ்ட் அவர் கொஸ்டின் இஸ், வாட் இஸ் த சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் எலக்ட்ரிக் ஃபீல்டு? வாட் இஸ் த சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் எலக்ட்ரிக் ஃபீல்டு? தட் மீன்ஸ் வாட்? How can I produce electric field? That is a question. How can I produce the electric field? Okay, that electric field can be produced by a fixed point charge, fixed charge. No need to be point charge. electric field will be produced by the fixed charge. Electric field can be produced by fixed, or another name is stationary. Stationary means what? Not moving. Stationary charge. Electric field, please note down, very important. How can we produce the electric field? We can produce electric field with help of fixed or stationary charge. That means what? The charge that is not moving. Anyway, I will come to this later, what is mean by actually charge. At this time, please note down, electric field can be produced by fixed or stationary charge. Okay. What is the next one? Magnetic field. How can I create the magnetic field? Okay. The magnetic field, how can I create the magnetic field? It can be created with the help of charge that is moving at steady speed. Charge has to move from one place to another, but with constant velocity at steady speed. Okay, steady charge, steady motion of the charge. Okay, steady motion of the charge. Steady motion of charge will give you magnetic field. The best example is DC current. Once the DC current flows through the conductor, some kind of charges are moving in steady velocity, okay, in steady speed. At a constant speed, charges will be moving. Okay, that is the idea of, again, speed is constant, and one more thing is constant. Amount of charge that is moving at every second is constant. That's why it is called constant current, DC current. Okay, steady motion of the charge will give you magnetic field. Steady motion of the charge will give you magnetic field. Okay. Next, how can I make electromagnetic field? How can I make electromagnetic field? That is movement of time varying charge. Movement of the time varying charge. That means what, sir? This is a wire. I am observing this point. Okay. Say in first second, suppose 100 charges going. In the next 1 second, suppose 200 charges goes. In the next 1 second, maybe 50 charge goes. What is that meaning? I'm observing the number of charge crossing this junction. This is the wire. I'm standing here and observing how much charge is moving every second. It keeps on varying. Okay, at some rate, 100, 200, 300, or it is in the opposite way, 50, 20, 10, like that. Okay, or sometimes 0, no charge. That means what? The movement of the time varying charge. Charges is moving at some velocity, that's okay. But the amount of charge that is moving is not constant with respect to time. It keeps varying. So movement of the time varying charge will give you the electromagnetic field. The best example for this one is AC current. The best example for this is AC current. That's why I told you already in communication very clearly, only AC charges, time varying waveform only can propagate through antenna. DC current cannot propagate through the antenna. Why? The DC current cannot create the electromagnetic field. DC current can create only magnetic field. The magnetic field alone cannot go longer distance. Only electromagnetic field can go longer distance. So that means what? Antenna input always has to be a time varying signal. See, in any case, antenna input has to be a time varying signal. Only the time varying signal only can create what, sir? Electromagnetic field, EH field. Okay, remaining DC current or stationary charge cannot create the electromagnetic field. Okay, this is the main difference between electric field and magnetic field and electromagnetic field. And also we have seen how to create electric field with the help of fixed charges, how to create the magnetic field with the help of steady motion of the charges. The best way is passing a DC current through the wire. And next, finally, how to create electromagnetic field, EH field, with the help of time varying current. That is, the example is AC current. Once if you pass AC current through a conductor, it can produce time varying field, EH field or electromagnetic field. Okay, and again, depending on the dimensions of the antenna and the rate at which you are changing your signal frequency, maybe if both matches, again your signal can go longer distance. That is the idea of antenna. Okay. Next, so first of all, we will discuss about electric field. And I told for electric field we need a stationary charge. Okay, we need a stationary charge, some charge. First of all, we'll see what is charge. Okay, so the general formula for charge is Q is equal to, please wait, or otherwise Q is equal to N into E. The general formula for charge. What is N? You know, the basic quantity to produce charge is electron. It will have negative charge. Again, the basics of everything is available in physics. Okay, how the atom is producing the negative charge, why some atom is producing positive charge. Okay, with respect to which is greater, either electron or protons, or how many electrons are there in the outer orbit. It all depends on those factors. But anyway, we'll not go into that discussion. Okay, so now I simply assume the basic quantity to create charge is electron. The basic quantity to create a charge is electron. One electron can give you how much charge? Okay, one electron can give you 1.6 into minus 10 power minus 19 coulomb of charge. The basic unit of charge is coulomb. The basic unit of charge is what, sir? Coulomb. C. The basic unit of charge is coulomb. Okay. So what I am telling, with one electron, how much charge you can get? With one electron, I told basic quantity of charge is 1 electron. Basic quantity of charge is 1 electron. With 1 electron, how much charge is available with you? 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Can somebody please tell me, if I want to have 1 coulomb of charge, see here I am having 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, very, very less coulomb value. Okay, 1 over 10 power 19, very, very less coulomb value. If I want to have a 1 coulomb value, how many electrons should I have? How many electrons I needed to create a 1 coulomb of charge? Because I clearly mentioned how 1 coulomb of charge, just substitute 1 here. I don't know how much electron I needed, but I don't know what is the value of E. 1.6 into 10 minus 9. So I need this many number of electrons. Just calculate and tell me 1.6, 1 by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. What is the value?
6.2 into 10 power 10, 18.
So I need 6. What's that? 6.2? 6.2 into 10 power 18 electrons. 18. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so roughly I need 6.2 into 10 power 18 electrons. If you have that many number of electrons, then only you can create 1 coulomb of charge. So please remember, creating 1 coulomb of charge itself is very, very difficult. Please note down what I am telling. See, with this, so to create 1 coulomb of charge, we are discussing coulomb like that, but creating 1 coulomb of charge itself is very, very difficult, because how many electrons you needed? 6.2 into 10 power 18 electrons you needed. Okay, to create a 1 coulomb of charge, you need this many number of electrons. Okay, so please always have an understanding what is a charge, what is a basic unit of charge, how much charge is in your hand. It all depends on how many electron is with you. Okay, and in our future discussion, we will not say it like an electron, we will simply say it like a charge. They'll say 1 coulomb of charge, or otherwise they'll say 2 coulomb of charge. Then you should imagine yourself that many number of electron is present there, that many number of, to create that particular coulomb of charge, that many number of electron has to be present there. Okay, in the simple case hereafter we will use charge like this, 1 coulomb of charge or 2 coulomb of charge. So, but you should know that how many electrons needed to create that 1 coulomb of charge. Okay, whenever 1 coulomb comes to your mind, you should think of that many number of electrons are there, around 6 into 10 power 18 electrons are there, okay, to create a 1 coulomb of charge. That is hidden factor. Okay, but you are seeing only these things in a problem, 1 coulomb of charge. Okay, next. Okay, now you understood what is charge. Okay, what is charge? What is the basic unit of the charge? That is electron. Basic unit of the charge is electron. Now we are in electric field. electric field. Again, there are three type of charge distribution. There are three type of charge distribution. First one is point charge distribution. That is all the charges concentrated on a single point. We do not know how much charge is present there. It may be 1 coulomb, or it may be 10 coulomb, or it may be 100 coulomb. We don't know about that. So don't think that if that is a point charge, there is only one electron. Don't think like that. Okay, please. Okay, if somebody gives you point charge, we do not know how much charge is inside that. That means what? There are some charges. It is created by the electrons. All the electrons are together on a point. That's it. That is the idea of the charge. Okay, please don't think that if there is a point charge, there is only one charge. Don't think in that way. Okay, so but this is the point charge. Okay, they will simply as a simple point, and they will mention what is the charge value. Okay, generally they will, once after giving this, they will mention what is the point charge value. If this is 1 coulomb, what is the meaning? Say they say some point charge, and again உங்களுக்கு என்ன சொல்றாங்க 1 coulomb of charge இருக்கு. What is the meaning of that? Here how many number of electrons are concentrated? Anybody?
6.
Yeah, 6.10 per 18 electrons are there inside that point. That is the idea. Okay, 1 coulomb. Somebody may give you 10 coulomb also. Okay, it all depends on the problem. Instead of 1 coulomb, they may give you 10 coulomb. Still the point is same point only. So that is the idea of the point charges. Simply all the charges have been concentrated on a single point. That is the idea of the point charges. Okay, and so in case of point charge, definitely you will be directly given a charge value rho. Okay, say for example, Q is 10 coulomb. Q is 10 coulomb. Okay, and again sometimes they may give a charge like this. They may be arranged on some line. Okay, they may be arranged on some line, but still we do not know how much charge in this. Say in a simple case, I assume that there are 10 coulomb of charge in case of line charge configuration. This is a line charge. Again, you know what is the length of the line. The length of the line is, say for example, for realistic value, 10 micrometer. So the length of the line is 10 micrometer. Can somebody tell me how many charge is there per micrometer? Now I went to the line configuration of the charge. If the charges have been arranged in a line, that is a line charge. Again, they are given a value. What is the total charge in the line? That is 10 coulomb. What I am telling? The length of the line is 10 micrometer. Then how much charge will I have in a 1 micrometer? Anybody?
6.21 into 10 power 24.
No, sir. I am asking. I am not going to number of electrons and all. How much charge will be there? I am not asking how many electrons will be there in one micrometer. I am asking how much charge will be there in 1 micrometer. So clearly, the number of charge is 10 coulomb divided by 10 micrometer. Okay, how much charge will be there? 1 coulomb of charge will be there per micrometer. Okay, so whenever you are given a line, mostly they will not give you as a total charge. They may be giving you as a rho L, line charge density. What is the concept? Line charge density. Okay, line charge density. So whenever they given a like this, they will mention this consists of charges and its density is rho L coulomb per meter. Rho L coulomb per meter. How to calculate the total charge inside this? Anybody? If this is a line, okay. Again, you should know the length of the line. Once if you multiply the length of the line, then you will get a total charge in the line. Okay, total charge in the line. Are you getting this idea, sir? Once if the charges is given on a line, they will give you as a line charge density, rho L. What is the unit of line charge density? How the charge is distributed over a length. So that means what? Coulomb per meter, rho L coulomb per meter. Again, if you want to calculate the total charge, you have to multiply with length. You have to multiply with length. Can somebody please tell me, okay, if my line is going in this way, still they given a parameter rho L. How to calculate Q? Can I simply multiply rho L and L? Can I take this equation or some new equation will come? Anybody? See, this is also a line configuration. Here also charge is distributed. Yeah. Somebody given correct answer. What about others? Yeah, that is the idea of integration. That is the idea of integration. Whenever your line is not linear, simply you have to go to integration. Simply you have to go to integration. So integration rho L dl, that will take care how much charge is there inside. That integral will take care of that. That is the main idea of integration. Okay, main idea of integration. Okay, so again, what is the line charge? The line may be linear. Okay, the line may be in curved shape. If it is in linear, you can use this formula. If it is in a curved shape, you have to use this formula. That is the idea. That is the idea. Okay. Now I extend this discussion into the surface charge. Okay, sometime instead of a line or a point, okay, the charge may be on the surfaces. The charge may be on the surfaces. Okay. In this case, please somebody tell me, if Q charges is available here, the area of the surface is A. Okay, then what is the surface charge density? Q is a total charge in the plane. A is the total area of the plane. Then how the total charge is distributed over a plane, over a area A. Now rho S is a Q by A. Okay, total charge divided by total area. What is this unit? Anybody? Coulomb per meter square. What is the unit? Coulomb per meter square. In the previous case, for line charge density, we got coulomb per meter. In this case, for surface charge density, yeah, the unit is coulomb per meter square. How the charge is distributed for every meter square. Or if they are asking in the reverse, okay, A is equal to what, sir? A is equal to, sorry, not A, please. Q is equal to total charge. I need total charge Q, that is equal to rho S into A. Again, when it is true, if the surface is flat, if the surface is flat, then it is true. Say if it is a square shape, if it is a square shape or rectangular shape, then it is okay. If it is a curved shape, what we have to do? If the surface itself is in a curved shape,
double integral.
See, this is like this. If your charges are on the surfaces, okay, charges are on the surfaces, then you should take this surface integral rho S ds. That will give you overall charge rho S ds. Okay, double integral rho S and ds. Ds depends on what, sir? In which surface you are. You may be on a lateral surface. You may be on some other surface. Okay, ds depends on the surface. Okay, surface. Okay, Q can be written like this, surface. Okay, then what is the extension of this? So instead of on a point, on a line or a surface, it may be on a volume. The charge may be in the volume. Okay, say for example, I have taken a volume, some volume. Inside the volume, charges are uniformly distributed. Inside the volume, charges are uniformly distributed. There are many charges inside this volume. Okay, and again, what they will give you? They will give you total charge inside the volume. And again, you should know what is the volume of the volume given, overall volume. Then what is the charge density? Your charge density is rho V. Rho V is equal to what, sir? Q divided by volume. Q divided by volume. Total charge. Okay, what is the total charge present in the volume? What is the volume value? Okay, Q divided by volume. What is the unit of this rho V? Sorry, what is the unit of this rho V? Coulomb per meter cube. What is the unit of this rho V? Coulomb per meter cube. Okay, once if you know rho V, how to calculate Q? Okay, so once you know rho V, how to calculate Q? It is simply rho V into volume. When the volume is in the regular shape, say it is in a cube shape or like that. If it is in a regular shape, again, if the charge distribution is uniform, then Q can be taken as rho V. Or in some cases, if volume is in an irregular shape, you can take some other surface like this. Again, you can make a volume like this. In those cases, you cannot simply use V. So you have to go for triple integral. You have to go for what, sir? When the volume is not regular, it is completely irregular. To find out Q, you should go for triple integral and rho V and dV. And you know how to calculate dV. In any coordinate system, you can calculate dV because you are having flexibility over 3 parameters. Say, if it is a spherical coordinate system, how will you calculate? dr will be there, or d theta will be there. or sin theta d phi will be there, or sin theta d phi. Again, once if you multiply all this product, you will get elemental change in the spherical coordinate system. Again, you have to integrate over all values 0 to 2 pi, 0 to pi, and again 0 to r. So that is the idea. Okay. So what is the conclusion, sir? What is the conclusion? Charge may be a point charge simply, or it may be given in a line format. Okay. Or it may be given as a surface charge density. Okay. Or it may be given as a volume charge density. If it is a point, simply no problem, directly you will get a charge value. If it is a line density, you have to multiply with the length to get the overall charge value. So what is the unit here? Okay, charge divided by length, that is coulomb per meter. Charge divided by area, coulomb per meter square. Charge divided by area, coulomb per meter cube. Please note down this. These are all different unit of different charge configuration. Okay, only there are 3 basic configuration. It may be in 4, generally 4. Either it may be in a point, it may be in a line, or a surface, or a volume, These are all the interrelationship. Okay. Now my next question is, suppose I am having a simple charge, sir, here. Say I am having 1 coulomb of charge. How many electrons will be there inside this? Anybody? 6, roughly 6 into 10 power 18 electrons are there. Say for example, again, I will take some easy number. Say this is a point charge. How many electrons are in the charge? Suppose I take some 1000 charges. Okay, so for example, only I am taking some 1000 charges. Now I am going to make some analysis, sir. Okay, here there are 1000 people standing on this point, very close to everyone, very close to each other, 1000 people are standing inside this point. இப்போ அவங்களுக்கு வந்து நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம், அவங்க வந்து இப்போ வெளியில போகணும், பட் யாரையும் டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்ணக்கூடாது. In which way they will go? All will go in this way, or all will go in this way? In which way they will go? Anybody? There are 1000 people on a point. They have to move away from one another. And which direction they will go, or which vector they will follow? Anybody? What all direction means? What? At least here you can draw now. Yeah, here in this 2D plane. Yeah, in this 2D plane, this is a 2D plane, so you can draw like this. But if you imagine yourself, when you take sphere, okay, if all the peoples are inside the center point of the sphere, definitely they will be going outward. Which vector I can use, sir? What is the suitable vector for them, for each and every person?
Spherical.
What vector?
Spherical, sir. Yeah.
AR vector.
No. In spherical itself, 3 vectors are there.
Yeah,
Which vector
yeah.
is suitable? AR vector. So what they have to go in AR cap direction. Everyone has to go there in their AR cap direction. Then only there will not be any disturbance between these people. Okay. So in the similar way, what is happening in case of electric field? In case of electric field, what is happening? Whenever there is a charge, the electric field is going radially outwards. The electric field will be radially going outwards. Please note down, it will not cross each other. It will not cross each other. Okay. The electric field will not cross each other. Suppose for simplicity, I assume for simplicity, there is some line crossing this line. What will happen, sir? Anybody? See, electric field is going radially outward. Okay, radially outward. Suppose if there are 2 electric field, by mistake, the 2 electric field crosses each other. Okay, in which direction the vector will be? By mistake. Anybody, what is the effective direction of these 2 vectors? See, this is a 2 vector. What is the effective direction? Can anybody draw? No, not that one. I have clearly drawn, no, in this way. This is the effective direction. This is the effective direction. Anyway, you will get some component here, some component here. Both will cancel. This is the what, sir? Effective direction. This is the effective direction. So what's happening? Generally, there will not be any cross. Even if there is a cross, finally it will go in this way only. So generally, there will not be any cross. Okay, so electric field will go radially outwards. They will not cross each other. They will never cross each other. Okay, electric field lines will never cross each other. Even if they cross, after crossing, there will be only effective component. Okay, what is the meaning? What is the idea I am telling? Say one electric field is coming in this way, one electric field is going in this way. What is the electric field I am telling? This is the effective electric field. Okay, why? This is the component of the first electric field. This is the component of the second electric field. Now these two are in same direction. That's why I am putting here vector. Now this one and this one is opposite direction. Once if you add these two, that is 0. That's why finally you will get a effective electric field only in this direction. Okay, what I am telling? Generally electric field will not cross each other. Even if they cross, the effective electric field will be in a particular direction. Okay, in a particular direction only, in a single direction. Finally it will be in a single direction. That is the idea of the electric field. At this point, you should be very clear with this. Once if I have some fixed charge, the electric field goes. The next question arises, how many lines are going outwards? How many electric field lines are going outwards? Okay, you can put 10 line, or you can put 100 line, you can put 200 lines also. Yes, it is possible. Yes, sir. You can put any number of lines now radially outwards. You can put 10, or you can put 100, 200, 300 like that. You can put any number of numbers. So how many flux lines? These are all called electric field lines will be there. Force, electric poles, or electric field lines, or electric flux lines will be there. How many lines will be there? How many lines will be there? It depends on what, sir? How much charge you are having. How much charge you are having. So in the simple sense, they will write like this. Please note down very important formula. Amount of flux lines is equal to amount of charge. Amount of, or number of flux lines. Number of flux lines is equal to number of charge, or amount of charge. How much coulomb is there? Amount of flux lines is equal to amount of charge. Are you all understanding this concept, sir? First, what I am telling, a fixed point will create an electric field, and that too, that electric field will be radially going outwards. Okay, it's okay. Then how much lines will be there? How much lines will be there? That depends on what? How much lines will be there? That depends on Q. How much charge is in your hand? How much charge is in your hand? Okay, amount of charge. Okay. Are you all okay with this? Up to this? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Then again, I'm going to find flux density. Flux density. Say something. Density means what, sir? Something related with some other parameter. One parameter related with another parameter. If it is a volume density, some parameter related with volume. If it is a surface density, it is related with a surface. If it is a line density, it is related with the line. Okay, so in this case, now what I am going to do, I am going to take some charge. Okay, I am going to draw some imaginary surface. Okay, I am going to draw imaginary surface. Anyway, I know the lines will be, electric field lines will be coming outside. Okay, will be coming outside. And suppose if another fellow comes, is drawing his imaginary lines like this. Okay, and somebody please tell me, see, one fellow is here, smaller circle, one fellow is in the larger circle. Okay, he is standing and is seeing the flux lines. Who will observe more flux lines? Who can observe? See, one fellow is standing here. Yeah, somebody is clearly giving wrong answer. One fellow is here, another fellow is here. We will observe more flux lines. Or clarity. Yeah, somebody is given correct answer. Okay. Or for a clarity, you take a 1 meter line here inside the circle. Same 1 meter line here. Okay. Same arc length. Okay. I have drawn some arc length here. Please wait. Yes, sir. What I am going to do, I am going to draw some arc line here. Say, I am going to draw some arc length here, same arc length here. Who will get more flux lines, sir, generally? Again, you please, again, lines will be coming like this. Like this. See, the fellow who is inside will be getting more lines. The fellow who is outside will get less number of lines. Is it not, sir? Because he is also 1 meter arc length. He is also 1 meter arc length. But as it is radially going outwards, the fellow who is inside getting more lines. The fellow who is in outside is getting less lines. Okay. That is the ability of the flux density. That means what? The flux density depends on R. Okay. Flux density, they used to call it as a D. Your flux density is inversely proportional to your R square, because you are on the sphere, so that's why they are using R square instead of simple R. They are using R square. Okay. So what happens? As R increases, the flux density, as R increases, the flux density decreases or R increases, because as R increases, your ability to collect the flux lines decreases. Your ability, you are having some equipment, okay, similar equipment. One fellow is in the smaller circle, one fellow is in the larger circle. Definitely the fellow who is inside the smaller circle will collect the larger flux lines as compared to the fellow who is in the larger circle. Okay, so that means what? The fellow who is inside is having higher flux density. So what is that meaning? As the distance, as the radius decreases, okay, as the radius decreases, flux density increases. So what we have concluded, we are forming the flux lines. The density of the flux lines decreases. The density of the flux lines decreases as the distance increases. Density means what? The amount of flux lines available in a particular area or particular point or particular line. That is the flux density. That's why flux per unit area, they are calling it as a flux per unit area. Okay. So we have calculated that the flux is inversely proportional to R square, but the actual value of the flux density is Q divided by 4 pi R square. Q divided by 4 pi R square. So definitely how much flux you are getting is depends on two factors now. So to get more flux, you should have more charge, or otherwise you should be in a lesser distance. Okay. There are, in a two-way, your flux density will vary. Okay. To increase the flux density, you can either increase your charge or you can go closer to the charge.